since plants react to stimuli like being cut or eaten, eating them is just as cruel as eating animals. That's the argument. So the reality is plants lack a central nervous system. They lack pain receptors, and their reactions are biochemical responses to stress, like similar to how a person's skin tans in the sun. Like it's very, very, very different than what people are thinking. There's not souls either in the plant.
Let's take a 5-year-old child. We're going to just way back to a 5-year-old child. And we're going to give them a knife, which we probably shouldn't, but we're going to give them a knife. And we're going to put them in the room with a bunny rabbit and an apple. And we're going to say, okay, which one are you going to put the knife in? Like what to eat, first of all, but like which one? A 5-year-old is never, unless they're psychopath. They're not going to stab the rabbit, and they're going to stab the apple, and they're going to be like, oh yeah, you're going to eat this apple. We just cut it with this knife. And it was like common sense at that point. But here we are, like a 5-year-old can figure it out.
Not going to name names, but a friend's ex-boyfriend said to me, he literally said in front of a crowd to me, when I was like, no, I'm vegan. He's like, you know, you're just as detrimental to like plants as you are to animals. He made I can't even remember exactly what he said, but like my friends around were like, is he crazy? That's why he's an ex, not my ex.
Yes,
would never be my ex. But I was like, what the? Like, who says that? So
I do.
Best life value, yeah, we leveling up. Strong body, clear mind, fill your cup. From the gym to the plate, you know what to do. It's your life, your health, best life by you.
Hey, hi everybody. So today, Stacy and I are back, and we are going to be talking about some vegan debunks, or going through debunking vegan myths. And I think that's going to be very good, because both of us, Stacy has been vegan for many, many years. I've been vegan for 6.5 years. And we just want to focus on some myths that are tended to be said around veganism. And so we figured just dive into it, right, Stacy?
Yeah,
I'd say so.
Do it.
Yeah, I'd say so. So the first question that we have for debunking myths is, humans are biologically designed to eat meat. So the argument is, our ancestors ate meat to develop large brains, and our canine teeth prove that we are predators. So what are your thoughts on this, Stacy?
It's funny because I've seen this before. People say it, and I'm like, what? My first thought, and when I see it, is I'm like, okay, if you really think that, I'd like you to go out into the wild, no tools, just your hands, no cooking utensils, no fire. I want you to go and fight an animal and kill it with your hands, and then eat the whole thing with those teeth. Chew through all of it and eat it and digest it without cooking it. Because the animals, like lions, let's say, because lions go out and that's what they do. They don't have guns or knives or whatever, bows and arrows. They don't make a fire and cook their food. They go out, they kill an animal, and then they do it with their claws and their teeth, and then they rip the animal apart and eat it with their teeth, and then they can digest it. If you as a human think you can do that, then I'd be interested to see you do that. But you can't, and you're going to get very sick, and I don't even know if you can tear through stuff with these canine teeth that we have. So right there, like that alone to me is like, nope, because that's not what we're doing. And we're also, when people say, oh, our ancestors did this, they weren't there, but they did not eat meat every day. It was almost like a ritual when they actually were able to kill an animal and this and that. People here are going to the grocery store and picking something up from a package. It's not very It's not what happened. And even people who hunt, like, they're going out with all these tools to trick the animal, and that's not cool either. So, I mean, that just proves, like, no, that's not true. What do you think?
I think it's I mean, everything you said is very accurate. I think when people start to bring that bit, and again, like those who are listening right now, we are spending time educating and informing. We are not faulting, we're not yelling, we're not telling you you need to do this, you need to do this. It's more just having a discussion here for educational purposes. So I would say that there is a lot of things like we as humans lack the high stomach acidity that you were saying, Stacy, of like you being able to digest that.
Right.
Other animals can do that. Like, and you also think of the strongest animals in the kingdom. You have the rhino, elephant. They're all plant-based. They all eat plants. They're not eating any kind of animals. And short intestinal tracts. Like, that's the other thing. If you look at us versus animals, but I really think of this high stomach acidity, and it's true. Like, if people are out in the wild, they want to look for berries, or their instincts are, let's look for berries. Like, let's look for things we could eat. Let's look for nuts. Let's look for seeds. And like, those are things people are more likely going to do. Yeah, there are some people who are like, oh, we got to build something to hunt and then cook the meat. But like, you are not going to eat that meat raw. You're not going to just go stick your hands into something and eat it that way.
Right.
That's not how we were designed. You could do that with an apple. You could pull an apple off the tree and eat it that way. And so that's a huge part of it too, is like people don't know. And then like the canines,
Yeah.
we don't have canines. I've had people come up and be like, look at my canines. They're so sharp. They're so this. And I'm like, it's meant for like chewing, gripping things, whatever you need. It's not for shedding or ripping apart things.
Right.
There's no way like that we can rip apart these things. And yeah, maybe evolution will say like, our bodies have been designed to eat meat. Our body has learned to eat meat and stuff. When people say though, we are designed to eat meat, that's not true. That's not where we can go kill and hunt. We're not able to do that. Yeah, maybe your body over evolution has learned to eat cooked meat or things that are packaged, but 99% of the population, maybe 90% of the population is not going to go out and try to do that with raw hands. So like that's even the carnivores, like the carnivores don't have a leg to stand on, especially athletes. Like I don't know any carnivore athlete that's out in the community. I know many plant-based athletes.
Right.
I do not know one carnivore athlete.
Yeah.
And there's like, people have been like, oh, well, fat, it can change into our energy. We can use fat as energy, but your brain runs on carbs. Like,
Yes, it does.
that's not something you can argue with. So anyway, I think that's like, people were saying, like that we're biologically designed to eat meat. That's definitely a myth because we were not designed. Our bodies are not designed to eat meat. There might be we can process meat, but designed? No. I just think it's something that society has evolved. And that's one of the biggest debunks is the canine teeth and whatnot. And even though I'm not a doctor, there are doctors out there that break this down to a T.
That's right.
That are plant-based and not plant-based that are like, no, stop the argument that we have canines and we're designed to eat this. Yeah, it's wild to me.
I actually just watched, it's interesting, an old Forensic Files episode, and there's this kid, I think he was like 10 maybe, and he was just deathly ill, and they couldn't figure out what happened. But what had happened was he went to Boy Scout camp, and when they were making hamburgers, and he accidentally took a big chunk of the hamburger that wasn't cooked and ate it. And he knew it was raw when he was eating it, but he was like, oh, my friends were looking at me, so I didn't want to spit it out. So he ate it, and he had E. coli, but it was undiagnosed, and they gave him, his mom bought him some over-the-counter stomach medicine, which actually made it worse. And he was hospitalized, I forgot how many weeks, and almost died a few times from it. And it was from raw meat, because we're not supposed to be eating that.
Yeah, I think the argument people will push back and say, well, the plants, because there's so many pesticides now on plants, plants are just as unhealthy as meat is, and nobody knows where to turn. And I'm just like, I mean, one, buy organic. If you can, buy local, buy organic, go to a farmer's market. Go to those places around. I mean, New York does not have many farmers market, but yeah, you can grow your own. Like I used to have a garden. I took it down, but I had a whole garden indoors that would grow my peas, my kale, my Swiss chard, all my stuff. All just here, water, no pesticides or nothing, and I'd pick it right off and have that. So even though and I think the best way is shopping local, right? Organic and local.
There's CSAs where I was in a CSA when I was in New York, and it was amazing. I remember just getting all of this food, and I'm like, oh my God, this is so great. And here where I live, we have the best farmers market. They give you a bag, good sized bag, and they're like, all right, fill it with vegetables. It's $15. So everybody's just like shoving everything in. And a lot of times you get a free cantaloupe with it. So you get this.
So nice.
Yeah. So for $15, you're getting all of the food, but it's locally grown. You can talk to the farmers that are there. And so it just there's always a way. There's just always a way.
Yeah. I think that's the other way around it. It's like people are dying from colon cancers and breast cancer, and a lot of these unfortunately are preventable. Fortunately and unfortunately are preventable. And knowing my mom had colon cancer, and like a lot of my family members have gone through cancer, for me, I was like, yeah, I can't undo the first 25 years of my life. And I know stress plays into it, but people need more fiber. And that goes back to, where do we get our fiber? From plants. And so that's a huge part I wish more people like knew about and took into consideration. So the second debunk question or thing is, plants feel pain too. So since plants react to stimuli like being cut or eaten, eating them is just as cruel as eating animals. That's the argument. Yeah. So, but I would say the reality is plants lack a central nervous system, right? Right. They lack pain receptors, and their reactions are biochemical responses to stress, like similar to how a person's skin tans in the sun. Like it's very, very, very different than what people are thinking. And there's not souls either in the plants. So you talk to me about that.
Well, I go back to the whole, like, all right, let's take a 5-year-old child. We're going to just way back to a 5-year-old child, and we're going to give them a knife, which we probably shouldn't, but we're going to give them a knife, and we're going to put them in the room with a bunny rabbit and an apple. And we're going to say, okay, which one are you going to put the knife in? Like what to eat, first of all, but like which one? A 5-year-old is never, unless they're psychopath. They're not going to stab the rabbit, and they're going to stab the apple, and they're going to be like, oh yeah, you're going to eat this apple. We just cut it with this knife. And it's almost like common sense at that point. But here we are, like a 5-year-old can figure it out. So when an adult says that, I'm like,
desensitized, or pressured by society.
Like, do you really think that? Like, really, it's usually when people say it, they're just being kind of turkey at that point, because they're not. I don't think they really feel that way. I don't think there's anyone who actually feels that way. I would hope that people don't really think that way. And like with that, like, it's going back to when you said, like, you pick an apple and eat it. Like, we bring kids to apple orchards and we're picking the apples and eating them. But I don't see anybody taking kids field trips to, to a slaughterhouse and like, hey kids, let's hang this cow and, kill it. They're not doing that. They're literally, able to go to fruit and stuff and vegetables and pick those and eat those. And you don't hear people being like, oh my gosh, don't do it. That apple's going to feel pain. Like, cause come on, like seriously, who thinks that?
Yeah. Well, actually, there was, somebody, not gonna name names, but a friend's ex-boyfriend had said to me, he had said, he literally said in front of a crowd to me when I was like, no, I'm vegan. He's like, you're just as detrimental to like plants as you are to animals. Like he's like, he made I can't even remember exactly what he said, but like my friends around were like, is he crazy? That's why he's an ex, not my ex.
Yes,
Would never be my ex. But I was like, what the, like, who says that?
I
So
know. That's like,
it doesn't, yeah.
those kinds of people are like, okay, so if you were here and my dog was here and like a head of lettuce, you don't see a difference between if I shoot one or stab one and
Yeah,
not
you
the other?
have like this you have an innate feeling in you, right? Like I would say there was like innate feeling. And then so we could also talk about this one too of like drinking. Oh, we talked about this last time, I think, pasteurized versus unpasteurized milk, like where people are like, well, back then when I was growing up, we just drank milk right out of the cow. I know many people who have also said that it's like, oh yeah, when I was growing up, I just drank milk right from the cow and it was totally fine, never got sick, never anything. Like that should be how we do it today. And which is one, not, but would you like to explain what happens, Stacy? How a cow even delivers milk?
Well, it is interesting because a lot of people are like, oh man, if we don't milk the cows and drink the milk, the cows will explode. Literally what people say. And I've seen it and they
Wow, yeah.
yeah. And I'm like,
Crazy.
do you think so? So I said, well, I always say like, well, what about dogs, female dogs? Like, why aren't they just producing milk? What about female women? What about female, any mammal?
Any animal, yeah.
Why aren't we all exploding? Because, we're not being milked and we're not exploding. So I don't know why I think cows just produce milk and they're the only mammals in the world that miraculously like just have milk. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
They actually have to be pregnant just like every other mammal in the entire mammal world
Kingdom, yeah.
to have that milk. The milk is not for humans by any means. There's only for baby cows. Only. That's the only animals that should be drinking that milk. And it is so full of hormones to help grow these little teeny cows into these big, huge animals. And like, what do you think is happening to your body when you drink that milk? You are ingesting all of those hormones and all of that, all of the content in there that is supposed to be inside of a baby cow, making it stronger and healthier. Not humans. Like this is, our bodies are confused. Like, what is this? First of all, you're an adult. So drinking breast milk is weird, but our bodies just don't know what to do with it. And it is study after study after study of it does not make your bones stronger. It actually depletes the calcium.
And I was going to actually say, you want to know something so funny? For the heck of it, I typed into Gemini or AI. I was like, you tell me why people think dairy is so good, like for you and for this. And they said, well, it helps. We know, as studies have shown, that it helps create strong bones, prevent osteoporosis. And then it said, especially women in menopause. So it was going against what we said. And it said, this is just ChatGPT, which we know it's not always 100%. Right. But it was saying that like, oh yeah, it grows strong bones and women in menopause need it because they need the calcium and vitamin D and vitamin D, I think it was saying, to help grow strong bones because a lot of people are at more of a risk if they don't have dairy. And it has leucine in it. It has all these amino acids that will help create strong bones, which I literally was like, you need a fact check.
Yeah, they really should check that. Yeah, it's
like you need a fact check, like actual, like not based on what people are saying.
Yeah,
But,
and I think we talked about this last time. Was like
we did briefly.
This country there's dairy and everything. There's cheese and everything. Whey, which people don't really know what whey is, and it's interesting when I ask.
Do you want to share what whey is?
It's all the crap at the bottom of anything gross dairy.
Left out.
Yeah, it's all the old stuff. It is so disgusting what it is. But I ask people who are drinking protein shake that has, it's a whey shake. And I'm like, what's whey? And they're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Protein. But I'm like, cool. What is it? Where did it come from? Half of them don't even know it's dairy. And the other half have no idea. Like I never heard of whey until I don't know how many years ago. All of a sudden, it's like because the dairy industry uses the milk for this or that, and then there's all this leftover stuff at the bottom of the barrel, and that's what whey is. It is disgusting.
It's a watery liquid byproduct. The left after milk is curdled and strained during cheese making or yogurt production. And it's again, but they're like, here it says it's commonly dried, it's highly digestible, rich in amino acids, and for muscle recovery. People do not realize though, like what the downfall of it is that as people age, a lot of my friends have digestive discomfort, but they harp on whey because of the leucine as well in it. But pea protein also has that. And pea protein is not going to be hurting your digestive tract unless you're allergic, of course. But it's after the formation of like the curdling of milk, which for me, I was like,
So gross.
like that just doesn't
spoiled
sit
milk.
well with me. Yeah,
it's so disgusting. And people don't know, they just drink it because it's the dairy.
That's what society, that's what society
it's good advertising. You have to remember, these companies are businesses and they want to sell their product. So they say these things. It's like any product you buy, and unfortunately, it's bad for health. So we have all these people drinking all of these products, these dairy products, and it's yogurt. I can't tell how many people are like, oh, I'm yogurt for breakfast. I'm like, oh gosh, you should.
Greek yogurt. Well, Greek yogurt, people are like, oh, it's packed with probiotics. It's packed with things to help your gut. Like it helps so much. But it's like, why? So does coconut yogurt.
Yeah.
And you don't have the saturated fat with it or cholesterol in it.
Yep. Yeah, it's tough to hear all of it when people are like, oh, I gotta eat so healthy and this and that. And I can't tell you how many of my older clients that are women come to me and they're like, oh, I went and got my bone density checked and it's not good. And I'm like, okay, how much dairy do you take? Like, and these people are like, oh, why? Cheese, milk, and this yogurt and this, that. And I'm thinking, okay, so you would think your bone density would be awesome if that's actually what would fix it. And it's depleting. And it's hard for them to hear like that it's depleting because they have this notion that that's what makes your bone strong. Everybody thinks it's.
Well, that's even, I just typed into Google because I was like, let me see what Google says. And it says like it provides calcium, protein, which are critical for maintaining bone density. And it's like, it's what's put online too of like, oh, this is great. But then people don't realize of what actually happens to their bodies when they're realizing, oh, I'm more at a risk of fractures as they age and whatnot. And I'm just like, it's because of how much dairy you're also having in your diet. So
yeah, it's between that and of course, strength training is also resistance training. Any type of resistance training, strength training is very essential as well. You have that combination.
That's the thing. Yeah, of course.
But
I just don't understand.
If you hit the gym all the time, but your diet is not where it should be, you're going to have these negative side effects still. It has to be the combination of both and this whole big picture, like, okay, we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to do this. And it sounds like, oh gosh, it sounds like a lot. And it's really not a lot. I mean, you don't have to be at the gym for 2 hours a day.
No.
If you want to be, cool, fine.
Yeah.
And some people, they love to go and just whatever, and that's okay. But you don't have to be. It's like, if you can, I got 20 minutes a day, cool, that's great. You can do this and this and this for 20 minutes. Just do it. You have to keep that body moving. It's the whole use it or lose it. And unfortunately, you have to have both. And you can't, they always say it in the running world, like you can't outrun a bad diet.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would say too, but just, I wanted to circle back to the dairy thing of just, because even I have clients who are like, yeah, I eat Greek yogurt every day. I'm so healthy. I eat this. And I'm like, but it's so high. There is science to this, even though dairy has the benefits, like we talked about. Yeah, chicken, people are like, chicken has this, 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 this. So do lentils, but there's no killing involved. There's no saturated fat. Same with dairy. Dairy has high saturated fat, and it has been linked to a lot of hormone related cancers. And so and also, and again, I don't have the exact research, but I do remember Dr. Greger, and there are other doctors who gave studies about osteoporosis, right? Doctors who gave the study of people who actually went plant-based to improve their osteoporosis over people who were living on dairy with osteoporosis. And it's like, I think even my mom, she doesn't have as much dairy anymore, but would have a lot. And she has osteoporosis, but she doesn't work out. Working out's very important. Or exercising is very important. So I think really it's just like the link of the hormone related cancers, the high saturated fat that you have, and lactose intolerance, of course, because as you age, it gets less and less. Your tolerance gets less and less. So I think it's more and more people just need the awareness of, what they can switch to just to prevent things. And I'm also speaking in the health perspective of the prevention of certain cancers and certain things, because I think about futuristic, and it's very important to focus on how do we prevent certain cancers? How do we prevent these hormonal cancers like breast cancer and colon cancer, which again are tied a lot to high dairy consumption.
Yes.
There are studies on this. Stacy and I are not doctors. We're not going to sit here and read your research. Go do your homework. Do your homework. We'll lay the foundation. Go to nutritionfacts.org by Dr. Greger. Ton of doctors have research proven on there. That's actual evidence. And he's not just one-sided. He gives you the straight facts. He's a person that if egg whites were better on a scale than chicken, he's going to say egg whites are better on a scale than chicken. He's going to talk about that comparison because he's focused on studies. So you go do your homework to the people listening, but we're just giving you the basic knowledge and basic information of why you should do your homework. So alternatives to some dairy products like Siggy's yogurt, Kite Hill yogurt, unsweetened, no sugar added, almond, soy yogurt. There's so many.
There's so many.
Yeah.
There's so many. I'm not a big yogurt fan, but
I'm not huge with yogurt either.
But I've tried a few just because I have clients who are like, what's good? I'm like,
yeah.
I'm going to try a few. And I've tried a few. I'm like, man, you'd have no clue that this was dairy free. So I always suggest to people, I'm like, look, there's 10 or 12 brands at the local grocery store here. Buy one at a time and see what you like. And everybody I find has a different preference because some people like the thicker. Yeah. So I'm like, just find what you like and go with it.
Yeah.
And, and the interesting thing is that a lot of times people are like, I can't get rid of this belly
bloat.
And I'm like, it is dairy. Just watch what happens. Even when I went from vegetarian to vegan, I didn't have a belly per se, but I always felt like, oof, I feel so bloated and gross. And I'm like, ugh. And then as soon as I gave up dairy, it was quick. I was like, oh man. And then I have a lot of clients, they give up dairy and their belly's gone. It's just gone. It goes.
Yeah, it's true. The bloat that's connected to it, and people will say, well, dairy is providing essential calcium and whatnot. It has these bits. First of all, you can get calcium elsewhere.
Yeah.
But the intolerance in some women, with the gut microbiome changing, that could also just increase your bloating from dairy. So the dairy is causing more downside effects than actual positive bits because there's a decline, because your body's declining in estrogen, lowered metabolism, and it can result in a lot more bloating from dairy too. So you probably know more though, because you actually went through it. I haven't gone through it. So.
Yeah. And it's fine. It's a lot of time. I was talking to someone the other day and my gosh, the amount of chatter about menopause and this and that. I'm like, these poor women going into it are terrified. I'm like, guys, ladies, it's okay. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna live through it. It's not as bad as you think, as long as you gotta
take care of your health.
That's right. There's a way to do it where it's like, that was it. That was me. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I'm like, what was everybody so afraid of? And I've talked to other people in the same position. They're like, yeah, I just stayed active. I ate this. I did this, did that, and I'm like, me too. No problem.
Yeah.
So,
and it's and honestly, less processed food, less sugar. You're not having a bunch of that stuff. So it's like you're very whole food oriented. So it's not to say you don't indulge or have that, because like I definitely do, but it's having that balance. It helps you through it. So, and I know one of my clients, she's been plant-based for a while, and she too has, we talked about menopause, and she didn't have a menopause belly. She's like, yeah, sometimes I felt like a little off, but a lot more women, when they have kids, like they have that, like that's what they worry about, is like, oh, I have this from kids. Right. But it's different than like a menopause belly. Like it's different than than that. So, I know, so we can move on to the next point. I know sometimes it's just rambling here. The other one, I know, not rambling, but like we're going on.
We can talk about it forever.
Yes, we could. And then also the next one is plant proteins are incomplete. So the argument, since most plants don't contain all essential amino acids in one go, they are low quality or incomplete. But all plants contain all 9 essential amino acids. They just contain them in varying portions. So like rice and beans together, perfect. You got it. Right. So soy has all 9. Yes. So you can go ahead and have your soy, have your peas, all of that. Like your body also contains a pool of amino acids. So as long as you're eating a diversity of food throughout the day, like beans for lunch, rice for dinner, like I was saying, you will get all your complete proteins. And you should, any normal person should be getting a balanced diet anyway. You should be eating a balanced diet anyway.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And that's the whole thing. That's the beauty of it. Just like you're saying, like you eat all these different foods. And what I love about that is not only are you getting the protein that's necessary, but you're getting all of these other vitamins and minerals, and you're getting some good fats and some good carbs. You're getting all of these different nutrients all at once at the same time. And it's funny when people say to me, because I stopped eating meat, when I was 10. So this summer will be 44 years.
Wow. She's protein deficient, guys.
That's right. And
you
that's
see those muscles?
Like,
do I look? Those muscles?
I'm like,
look at her protein deficiency.
Sorry, no. I'm like, do I look like I haven't had protein? Like, and
put you on a trail. Everybody listening, years ago, Stacy had me do snowshoeing, which was one of the hardest things. For her, it probably wasn't hard. For me, that was one of the hardest things I've done. And I've done the Murph challenge, pull-ups, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups. I did that, and I was like, oh my gosh, and this woman's just continuing to keep going. No problems at all. So I just want to put out there, she's in her 50s, and she is absolutely on fire, crushing it. No excuses. Her body's treating her well. No issues, never sick, never ill.
Yeah.
Crazy.
This dog that you see behind me, he and I hiked 3 13ers on Sunday, back to back, which means they're over 13,000 feet high. It was insane. It was an insane hike. It was awesome. But like, there was never like, oh, I'm not strong enough to do this. Like, I'm going to do this. And going into the gym and just like doing all these exercises. I love working out and dumbbells and throwing kettlebells around and all these things. Like, I feel like I'm stronger than ever, which is kind of cool. Yeah. I'm really, and I say it all the time, like, I think I'm in the best shape of my life right now, and I'm 53. But obviously, it's just, and at that point, like, I'm like, I don't even care about what the science says. Like, look at these people who are like you, Julia, and all of our vegan workout friends. Yeah. Look at them. Like, that's it. You don't even have to read anything. So we have muscles. We're doing all this stuff. We're able to. I mean, yeah, the snowshoeing thing was tough, but you did it. You just did it. You didn't have to snowshoe before. This thing, we just
and we
do
got
it.
pizza after. We each got a whole pizza after.
We did.
That was so good.
By the way, Breckenridge, if anyone's in Breckenridge, Colorado, they have an all vegan, which we've been to twice now.
Oh my gosh, amazing
place. It's so
I'm dreaming about it.
I know.
I wonder if I could do Uber Eats from it. I'm kidding.
You're like, I'm going to plan to come back to Colorado just for that.
Just for the pizza. Just giving you a heads
We
up.
just stay in Breckenridge and eat pizza for all night.
So funny.
So, but that's
So
the thing. Like, and that's the cool thing too, is we have all that stuff. I went yesterday. My neighbor who's vegan, she's like, you want to walk the dogs and we can go and get some ice cream. We have a place that has vegan ice cream down the street that we walk to. And I'm like, it's all about balance. We walked for a few miles, we ate some ice cream, and then we walked back.
I think it's fun. It's fun. It's very, there's a lot of things that people do not, they don't think about. Like, I think it's easier to say what I don't eat than what I do eat.
Yes.
Right? Like, people are like, well, what do you eat? And I'm like, let me tell you what I don't eat.
Like, I so much, like, I can't, because I get that.
For me, it's like, I don't know how to tell them. Yeah. So I've just been saying like, well, I don't eat eggs, chicken, turkey, and then the next question is, well, where do you get your protein? Which is my next myth. So you can't get enough protein from plants. The argument, because plants are less protein dense than meat, it's impossible for athletes or bodybuilders to meet the requirement. So while a steak is more protein dense than a bowl of broccoli, as people will compare, plants are powerhouses. Lentils, chickpeas, seitan, tofu, high protein sources. And I know people focus on, well, steak has protein, but people don't focus on all the bad sides that come with steak. Well, they focus on, well, this is the zinc. I get zinc, I get this protein, I get all my amino acids, I get everything from this. But they don't think about the downside effects of having it. So go ahead, talk to me about this.
No, and that's exactly it. What's cool about the proteins that you get from plants is, like if you have lentils and broccoli, you can make this really good dish with all these great foods in it and have amazing protein and have plenty of protein. But like I said before, look at all the other benefits you're getting from you're eating cancer-fighting foods, instead of getting protein from a steak that can cause cancer, can cause heart issues. It's been shown, and people know it. People say, "Oh yeah, I know," but they're still eating.
I get that all the time too. People are like, "I know it causes cancer." I'm like, well, then if you know that, I can't help you."
Yeah, so that's right. It's like, well, then stop eating it. Like, don't. And stop feeding your kids it. That's the other thing. Like, I'm like, but if you
know, I see that a lot.
Why are you feeding your kids? We're the only mammals on this planet that would actually feed food to our children that we know causes illnesses. Like, it's a little bit weird to me, because you wouldn't give your kid a cigarette, probably. I mean, maybe there's some people that would. They shouldn't. Let's put that out there.
In Barcelona, and this father was drinking a beer, and he gave it to his 5-year-old kid. I have a picture of the 5-year-old kid holding the beer and sipping it. No facial reaction, nothing. I was like, please tell me there's water in that. No, it was flat on beer. Father drank half. The 5-year-old kid was drinking a beer. I'm like, I'm not getting involved in that.
The funny thing is that beer is probably better for the kid than some of, like, feeding him a steak or a hot dog. Definitely better than feeding a hot dog.
Yeah. Oh, hot dog. Yeah. Hot dogs are high on that cancer list, but that's it. Yeah. It's all about comparison too. Like, if you're like, well, steak is good for me, compared to what? Like car fuel, engine, like gasoline for your body? Yeah, you could compare it, I guess. But if it's all about what you're comparing it to. So I think that's where people do not necessarily understand. And I get it. Many, many people are just following. They want to have balance, and they want to include like all these foods so that they're not left out of anything. But any person that I've met, every person I've met that's ever been vegan or vegetarian, I've met people who've done it for 6 years, for 10 years, have all told me, every single one of them, that every single person, that's the best I've ever felt in my life.
Yes.
Flat
That's
out.
right.
When they do it right. We're talking a healthy, balanced vegan diet. But it's like people choose to go back to what they're used to. And that's really what it comes down to, is people want what they're used to and what they're familiar with and what everybody else is doing. And sometimes I like standing out with the crowd. I like being different. I like being the person to be like, no, I know what's going to be better for my body.
That's right.
And I'm able to do fine. And guess what? If I'm deficient in something, which I'm not, I actually had too much B12. I did blood work years ago when I had the mold, all that shit. And the doctor was like, your B12 is so high. You need to stop. And I was like, I just have nutritional yeast every day. And then here we talk like the only vitamin that a vegan needs is B12. And people are like, well, I don't have to take any vitamins because I get it from animals. Well, most animals nowadays are fed B12.
Yeah.
Did you know that? Did you know that they're fed B12
They're actually
so
fed
that they can get that?
Right. Well, and here's the thing about vitamins as a whole, because I hear a lot of people say vegans have to take all these vitamins, and this is I'm quoting from paraphrasing from someone else, but the vitamin companies, there's vitamin stores, right? There's vitamin companies. They're not being kept alive by vegans. We are a very small number. They're not being kept alive by vegetarians and vegans. So there's a lot of people who eat meat. Most people are taking, they need vitamins. I can't tell you how many people I know who eat meat and they're deficient and they're getting B12 shots and they don't have
Iron's huge. And I say, I'm like, well, dairy inhibits the iron absorption too. I, Julia, and I know it's a testimony. I don't have science proof on this, but I was anemic pre being vegan. When I went vegan, no more. Anemia is gone.
Isn't that funny?
It's all gone.
Yep.
I'm like, did I change anything? No, I just ate a lot more plants. No dairy. Stopped having dairy. Well, steak I cut out over 10 years ago. In 2014, I cut out steak. So I haven't eaten any red meat in like 10 plus years. Yeah. No, 12 years. Yeah.
So it's very interesting because, it's like, like I said, I mean, the vitamin industry in this country is
multi-million dollar business. Yeah.
Gigantic. If you have all vitamin stores, it's a big business. And there's tons of different companies. And you go down the vitamin aisle, and even in the grocery store, look at all the vitamins. Look at all of them.
Yeah. That
is not the vegan aisle. That is not the vegan aisle. We are not keeping that industry alive. So it is all about getting a balanced. It's about getting the enough food and balance from your nutrients from that food. If you eat the same three, this is another thing that a lot of people who eat meat, they're like, I only eat the same three things all week. And I'm like, okay, that's probably not good.
It could be missing a lot of micronutrients, because macronutrients, sure, you get your carbs, fat and protein.
Yeah.
What about your fiber? What about your vitamins? Like
all the vitamins.
What about zinc? What about magnesium? What about those things? Like
minerals.
Where are you getting all the vitamins and minerals from?
And that's why they're all taking vitamins. And
because it's not absorbing enough, or it's not getting into the But trust me, I know a lot of people who have anemia and are iron deficient, like really bad, and getting iron infusions, which I'm really not as fan of. People have asked me my thoughts on like IV drips. I'm not a huge fan of them because you can overdose with them, like get too much. You don't know how much your body needs, where it's like a body, when you're taking a supplement or you're getting food, your body knows how much to do, what to excrete, what to keep. Where like IV, you're getting so much put in, where it's like, I've seen that with iron, and like, it's with a lot of people who are like, I have to go for iron infusions every week. And again, I'm not a doctor. I don't know what your issue is. I don't know. There could be something really bad with your health going on.
Right.
Could be the case. I'm not speaking, but for the small percentage of people, but for the large amount of people who are eating not the healthiest diet.
Well, that's it. Yeah.
That's a huge thing. So it's like, cut out the processed shit first, like processed deli meats, processed stuff, like in that respect. You don't need it. People are like, well, I got this organic turkey slice. I got the organic turkey slices. I got this. And I'm like, cut out the deli shit. Start with that. If you got to start somewhere, start there.
It's really
Then
bad.
go ahead, cut out the red meats.
Yeah.
Then go ahead, cut out the dairy. Then cut out the white meat. Like, it's a system, but it's, again, I get people want to have a balance, and you and I are both plant-based, so we believe in this, but I will never turn somebody away who is trying to be healthier, because then I can teach them how to be healthier and how to be more diverse. Like, that's something, even though we're so passionate about this, I will never be like, oh, you're not plant-based, I'm not working with you. I am a person that's going to say, okay, are you open to changing your diet and adding in more foods and reducing some other foods?
Right.
And usually 9 times out of 10, they're like, yes, sign me up. And then we follow up and I'm like, well, how are you feeling? I feel much more energized. I feel better. I feel good. I'm like, okay, let's go ahead and do a little bit more. Maybe a plant-based breakfast, plant-based lunch.
Right.
Try that. And then see progress from there. So there's a lot of ways people can make progress, a lot of things like that. But it's, so I know you and I could talk all day about this, but this was fun doing some debunks. And again, for people listening, I want to emphasize again, Stacy and I are not doctors. We are not scientists. We're not I did research in graduate school, but like, I'm not an active researcher, right? We do our own, when I say research, we're reading studies and we're following videos of not testimonials of like, wow, I feel good from this, actual science-based information on what has helped people, what the diet is that's helped people. And if anybody looks, what's the diet to help cure, help people with cancer or reverse heart disease? Plant-based is the only one to help with that.
Yeah. And following up on what you just said, not only do we did our research and we listened to what these doctors are saying, this and that, and then we live that lifestyle.
Yeah.
And by living it, we're just kind of showing people like, look, this is what the science says. We're doing it and we're living proof that it actually works. So, and we've been doing it, we're not doing it as a fad diet or anything. This is, whatever reasoning we decided to go plant-based vegan, great. But then it's like, oh my gosh, look at all these, there's so many benefits to it. And the more I read about it and the more I listen to this and that, I'm like, wow, there's this and there's this and it's great. So I'm like, wow, I'm so glad I did this for myself. What a gift I gave to myself, because my goal is to not be ill. I don't want medication. I don't want I'm on no medication. I'm not ever sick. And my goal is to live this life until my last day, which hopefully will be on a mountain somewhere. Not in the hospital.
Well,
mountain.
Mountain. Yeah.
Yep,
Wow.
that's the goal.
Yeah. Well, not anytime soon.
No, unless I trip and fall, which hopefully my dog will catch me.
Hopefully you'll be fine.
I'll be careful.
But everybody listening, I know, again, Stacy and I did one of these before. If this episode resonated with you, you guys can always reach out to Stacy, reach out to me. Stacy is an amazing coach. She's helped every kind of person transform. So yeah, thank you again, Stacy.
Julia is also an amazing coach.
Thank you.
And we love chatting about it, and we love talking to you about it. So definitely reach out if you want to reach out to both of us, one of us.
Yes,
we are more than happy to talk some more about it.
Absolutely.
And questions. I'd love to answer questions too.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, and everybody keep living your best life.
Yes.
Thank you so much for listening to the Best Life by You podcast with yours truly. I hope you go ahead and subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, and stay up to date with all the latest information. You can also follow me on Instagram at Julia_BestLifeByYou for more humor, podcast information, and all the above. I hope to see you soon, and let's continue to keep living your best life.